The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Generations Radio, where the focus is on our seniors and their families. We are here each Saturday afternoon from 5 until 6 p.m., bringing you resourceful information with our radio team of professionals in the field of aging. Stay with us for the next 1 hour as we explore different ways to make life more exciting and meaningful for our extraordinary seniors. Right here on AM 690 The Answer. And now, here is our host and the publisher of Generations Magazine, Percy Ihara.
Welcome to Generations Radio. I am Percy Ihara, your host, as you know, every Saturday from 5 to 6, Sunday from 3 to 4. And I keep on reminding every show because I know people always ask me when I'm out and about, what time is your show? And as you guys always know, we're on here on AM 690, The Answer, every Saturday and Sunday. As you guys know as well, on our website, generations808.com, we house and archive all our past radio shows that we've had over the months here. And today we've got a very interesting show to bring to you. On the mainland, and in Hawaii we always get it a little bit later on, is a new program coming out called Smart 911. And where Hawaii is finally getting it sometime at the end of August, early September. But you can actually go live to the website, and we're going to talk about that. We're here with Captain Allan Nagata and Talia Burns. So welcome to the show, Captain Nagata and Talia.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you guys new to radio, so just make sure they can hear you, okay? But anyway, Captain Nagata, you first contacted me. Now, what is your position with the 911 and with HPD?
Yeah, I'm Captain Allan Nagata, and thank you for having us on the radio show today. I'm at the Honolulu Police Department Communications Division, and that's where our 911 call center is located.
Right.
So
Very important.
Very important, yes. So when people have an emergency or even non-emergency that they want to report to our first responders, that's where they call.
Yeah, I've called them a couple times because of my neighbors, young kids making a lot of noise past 10 o'clock. I call them up. But anyway, so welcome to the show. Now, Talia Burns, you're with HPD, and tell us your capacity there.
Yes, I'm currently assigned to the administration section under Captain Nagata, and I'm responsible for some of the projects that and new technology that's coming to communications.
And the new technology, I mean, communications, calling 911, I know we've seen all the issues going on, but it's still very vital part of our community, and more so with our seniors out there, right, Captain Nagata?
Yes, of course, because seniors are always at home. They're the ones that are the eyes and ears of our community. And they're a lot of times the ones who call in the suspicious circumstances. So they're a very important resource and source of information for us regarding suspicious activity on our streets of Oahu.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, nationwide, it's being rolled out all around the country, this thing called Smart 911 program. Can you give a little background on this coming program?
Sure. This program is basically a program that was launched in 2010. And the company that founded the program is called Rave Mobile Safety. Rave Mobile Safety has been in business for over 10 years, and they're headquartered in Massachusetts. And what this program does is enables the public, you, me, our families, to register our phones, mainly our mobile phones, and create information that you may want first responders to know in case of an emergency.
But you say mobile, you mean they don't work with landlines?
Oh, they sure do. Okay. Let me clarify. They work with all phones. Okay. But we're going to clarify with you a little later the difference between a mobile phone and a landline phone, because there's a small difference.
So you had mentioned before we came on air that it's running in pretty much all over the United States now, and it's coming to Hawaii?
Yes, it's in all 50 states, and the Honolulu Police Department will be the first to bring this product to Hawaii. So for right now, it'll only work in the city and county of Honolulu for the Honolulu Police Department.
And I'm sure it'll be rolling out to all the neighbor islands as well. So you had mentioned it comes out end of August, beginning of September. But explain that process. When I first heard about this, I was reading the information sheet that kind of explain really how does that work and how does that partnership work with HPD?
Well, the partnership is, first of all, we need to get people to sign up. And basically what you do is go to www.smart911.com. And at that website, you can create an account. And then when and if you do, you can create a safety profile. And in that safety profile, Percy, you can include your name, phone number, address, other information such as your loved ones, your children, your spouses, vehicle information. You can even include, Percy, an emergency contact.
Oh.
That's pretty amazing. And you can also include your loving pets, because aren't pets part of our family?
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned that I lost my dog last week. And it's interesting. We have a little sign in front of our front door saying, my son, after my son was found out we lost our dog, I know it's not talking about Smart 911, but it says, we have a sign that says, our home is not a home without a dog. And my son goes, oh, we're not a home anymore. We don't have our dog anymore. So I said, we'll get another dog. Don't worry about that. But yeah, you mentioned that. So you go on to the smart911.com. That's the website. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's
right
it.
away.
It's on the internet. The one thing that everybody needs is an internet connection.
Sure.
Whether it's a computer or even on your phone, you need to go to, and I repeat again, www.smart911.com. And over there, you can create an account. Basically, an email address, create a password, log in, and that's when you'll see what's called a safety profile. And in that safety profile is where you can put as much or as little information that you would want the first responders or our Honolulu Police Department call takers to know in case of an emergency. So it's kind of like no one prepares to call 911, Percy, but if in the event that you do, you should, and if you will have that information in there, we'll be better prepared to help you in case of an emergency.
Yeah, that's really important, especially for our seniors. You know, I always tell the story. 2 years ago, Super Bowl weekend, I went with some buddies of mine, and I think three of them were fire captains. And I asked them one day, because I'm very involved with senior issues, I say, how many of your calls are senior related, that they go to seniors' homes? And I was shocked. It was like 60 or 70% of calls. Talia, I'm sure you must hear that as well. And so, but a lot of seniors don't have internet. You'd be surprised. So what did I tell you earlier? You can go to the library. All the libraries have a number of computers, but do you think that's going to be an issue, Talia?
No, I don't think that's an issue. Yes, the library is a good source. At HPD, we have several computers that we're taking out into the field to help.
Oh, you are?
Yes,
Oh,
we
cool.
do. To help our people to sign up for Smart 911, yes.
Are you going to bring the big van down and read the computers?
No, we have some portable laptops that our IT section prepared for us to take out into the field.
Well, that's cool. Well, we're going to have. Are we going to have your story? We're going to have a story with you in our October-November issue.
Fantastic, Percy.
So that'd be
Thank
great,
you.
because that's our Medicare issue. And if you may have heard early in the month, we had a big show on Medicare for all you 69 grads that are going to be turning 65. That's a major milestone, but that's going to be a major issue where all these baby boomers are going to be reading. So a lot of times the baby boomers are the ones that are going to have to probably sign up for their parents, don't you think? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So we will get you out to the all the city and county. In fact, like I said, there's 37, 38 clubs on this island alone. So I'll get you that list. It's actually on our website, but get you that list. And I don't know how busy you want to be. We can get you busy out there.
Anything to help us spread the word, Percy, we thank you.
Yeah, it's really
It's important.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'm glad you thought of that, Talia, because having that laptop get out to different facilities, it'd be great. So if I'm on the website right now, smart911.com, and so it's really a nice, beautiful website, and it just says sign up.
Yeah, it's simple, fast and easy.
Yeah, very easy.
I signed up, Percy, and I did it in 5 minutes.
So you sign up your name and everything, email, and so you have your own account?
Yes, I sure do.
Oh, wow,
And
cool.
you have your own password.
I see it.
And it's something that's a living document, so to speak, because you can continually add or take out information. Because people do change addresses and things change regarding who's living or who's in your home.
It's so important. So to give me a background, Talia, how many calls do you get a year?
So in 2014, we received almost a million calls, 998,000
Is
calls
that just for Honolulu?
for Honolulu into the police department. Of that, 869,000 was for police.
For police?
Yes.
Wow. I would have thought maybe more, I guess, fire or car accident. But yeah, I guess that's a lot. That's a lot of calls.
Yes.
Wow. It must be it's a very stressful job. Must be a very stressful job.
It sure is.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys do a great job. And actually, I know a lot of the police officers I play softball with. But, so I noticed, so the phones that, let's say I have a mobile phone I call, HPD automatically has my number, right, that I'm calling from?
That's correct. If you're calling from a mobile phone, we do have your phone number. However,
Any mobile phone? What about if it's blocked?
if it's blocked because of 911, we still have your phone number.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's good.
Even for landlines, Percy.
Yes.
Even if you
Even
block
block-
it. Yes,
Really?
because this is for 911, right?
Yeah.
So when you do call, even if you have an unlisted number, we'll know the subscriber name, address, and phone number. And I'm talking about landlines.
Correct.
Oh, wow, that's great. Yeah, it's really important because I've heard situations where the senior called and they passed out, their phone's on the ground, and for some reason I find a lot of seniors do block their numbers. Because I get a lot of calls myself from seniors specifically, and I notice they don't like to leave messages. Yeah, so it's really really important. So explain the difference when they register for landline versus a mobile phone.
So when they register for Smart 911, you can input your landline phone or your mobile phone, whatever number that you use. That's what's going to trigger the pop-up window into our comm center that will reveal your profile. Today, if you have a cellular phone and you call 911, we're very limited as to what information we have. However, if you do sign up for Smart 911 and you do create a profile, we are able to retrieve the information that's in your profile, such as if you have a medical condition, if you have some kind of mobility limitation, so that information can be passed on to the first responders.
Yeah, it's so important. So when you mentioned, when they call, they don't really have all the information. So if somebody called from a landline, you wouldn't have their address?
Percy, if I may clarify that, when a landline phone is used to call 911, we get the subscriber address, subscriber name, and your phone number. But, there's a big difference between a landline phone and a mobile or wireless phone. And I think the folks out there need to realize that despite the capabilities of our mobile phones today, such as getting on the internet, checking your location on a map, right? Getting on Facebook, maybe even paying some bills, right? Via mobile banking. Well, guess what? Your mobile phone is limited when it calls 911. We do not get subscriber name. We do
Right.
not get subscriber
Right.
address. We'll get your 10-digit phone number. We may get your wireless carrier information. And we'll get what's called a X coordinate and a Y coordinate for your latitude, longitude. And that's basically your coordinates that we may be able to track you based on where your cell phone is pinging off of or what cell tower. And I think that's what the public needs to kind of be aware of, that despite the fact that cell phones or mobile phones are highly powerful today, it's limited when it calls 911. And that's what Smart 911 provides, an additional data platform for citizens, the public, to register and get 911, that information that you may need us to know in case of an emergency.
Yeah, you're right, because a lot of mobile phones, they want to. So I'm actually, while you're talking, I'm doing it right now. And guys, this is very cool, very easy to do. I'm putting in my address now. So when I call, you'll have my address
Yes.
for my mobile number. Oh, interesting. So I can say, because I called one time and the neighbor across the way and I don't know my neighbor's address. So I says, just right around the corner from my house. But it's interesting. Okay, so you have some experience. How long has it been around? It's been around 10 years?
The company Rave Mobile
Rave
Safety,
Mobile.
they're the ones that developed the product called Smart 911. Smart 911 was launched in late 2010. So although it's new to Hawaii and it's basically somewhat of a pilot project, because I know you mentioned that, it's going to be rolled out possibly to the outer islands, but they're going to wait and see too also how it's developed here. But obviously it works because it's successful in the continental United States.
Right. So what are some examples of situations where the Smart 911 has saved individuals' lives?
Well, Rave Mobile shared with us an example of a gentleman in Washington, D.C., who signed up for a Smart 911 and created a profile. And in his profile, he indicated that he has an allergic reaction to bee stings and he could go into anaphylactic shock.
Wow.
So he put this in his profile, and one day walking down the street in Washington, D.C., he was stung by a bee. And shortly before he went unconscious, he was able to dial 911. And his safety profile was what was seen in the comm center. At the same time, because of mobile phone usage, other people in the area was calling about a man who had just collapsed. And so the call center personnel was able to put the two together and had police and ambulance respond at the same time, saving this gentleman's life.
Wow, is that amazing? Amazing story. I mean, I think what about if they put in like for someone who has Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or maybe has a pacemaker or something like that? Would that is that able to be put inside here?
Absolutely, yes. Any medical condition, any physical limitation. I've signed up my elderly father so that in case he needs to call 911, his profile will come up, his conditions will come up, and I am his emergency contact. So I'll be notified.
Oh, you can put yourself as emergency contact?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You can list an emergency contact, and at the Honolulu Police Department, we will attempt to make one phone call to your emergency contact to let them know that someone from this profile has called 911.
Wow, that's cool. I'm doing this while you're talking. But you think it's mostly for seniors or it can be for anybody?
It can be for anybody, Percy. But we highly recommend seniors register and sign up. And the things that you mentioned, such as prone to wandering, Alzheimer's.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because you can include photos. We didn't even talk about that yet.
You can include photos?
Sure can, Percy. Take a look at it
Wow.
on that website.
This is a Smart 911, Kim, engineer here.
We told you it was smart.
Wow, that's really cool. I mean, hopefully you're going to get your press release. You're going to get your interviews out there. Yeah, if you can get pictures, because I'm involved with Alzheimer's Association. We've done many stories, and it's really important because every year we lose one or two, where we never find them, but we do find most of them eventually. I had a good friend of mine, who the mother was found out in that Kalu Valley. After being out in the woods for like over a day and a half. So it's kind of scary thought, but I'm glad they did find her. What other things, because man, you got a lot of bells and whistles now we can talk about, huh?
Yes.
What other things can we put in there? What should we, or what would we put in there?
You can put anything and everything that you pretty much can think of and want regarding your families. Like, for example, I registered even my house. I described my house. Not only that, an address, and I have physical numbers that first responders may look for, but I described the color. I described the fence color and basically what kind of tree I have, just in case first responders respond at night. Because as a law enforcement officer, I realize house numbers are difficult to see 4 o'clock in the morning. But if I kind of know what the house color looks like in the description, it makes it easier to locate in case of emergency. And we all know, Percy, that seconds, minutes save lives.
Well, I'm colorblind too, so I mean, as long as you tell which tree is in front or whether you have a garage or not, or what kind of car you have in there, because yeah, we have an A to our address, and we get several times.
Sure.
Our neighbor got sick one day, and they're 90 years old, and they came down looking for the house because there's a slightly different number as well. So it's really important. So an individual goes on there, and then and it could be probably going to be your kids, right? Especially if you're doing it for a senior.
Yeah, you can sign up your aunties, your uncle. I signed up my auntie. My auntie lives in Palolo Valley, and I've told this story many times in my presentations, that she's in her late 80s. She has limitations with mobility. She's in a wheelchair, and she has basically the First Alert bracelet. She uses that. But I also signed her up for Smart 911 because she uses a mobile phone, and I wanted to make sure that in case of an emergency, the first responders or 911 call center would have that necessary information in case she makes that call to 911. I also listed myself as emergency contact, as Miss Talia Burns also did with her family, because I want to know if my auntie does call. Wouldn't you want to know?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, yeah, I just set my account up. Now they're confirming my number by sending me a text, and so I need to put in that number. So while we're doing this show, I'm doing all this, Captain Nagata. So we'll see how easy it is. It looks like it's pretty easy.
Yeah, that's the validation process, and that's one of the challenges that I get asked about when we do presentations. Can I just sign up anybody? Can I just do anything? Because, I have children. You do too, right? And children like to prank each other. That's the term today, pranking. And,
Is that the term?
Yeah, that's the term that my son uses. And you know what? It limitates pranking, or it halts pranking, because you have to have that phone number validated. So they'll send you a text message or email back, and you have to put that code back into the website to validate your number that you inputted when you registered. And once you get that number validated, you're good to go, as long as you make a 911 phone call to a county or municipality that offers Smart 911.
Okay, so I'm kind of confirming my number, and it confirmed. Cool. I got the text back. Your phone is now confirmed. Wow, it took me like, what, 2 minutes while you're talking?
Sure.
This is great. So now, once I get set up, and guys, you can do this while you're doing it. We listen to this show here to go back into Smart 911 and get you all set up. So you can do it for all your aunties and uncles. Then
sure, you can do it for all your aunties, uncles, your children, your grandparents, and like I said earlier, I registered my auntie separately, because not aside from my family, because she lives in Palolo and I live in the lower part of Kamiki, and we have basically two different family households. But I want 911 to know in case she ever needs to make that call.
Now you sent me a bunch of questions, and I don't see this question on it, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Okay, hopefully Talia can answer this. How safe is it?
Very safe.
How safe is the website?
Very secure. Rave Mobile has assured us that they meet military and federal requirements. And the information is only shared once it's received in the comm center with first responders.
So now, when I go back, do I have to go back to the website and add in my information then?
Yes, you can update your information.
So what I did, I set up the account. Now I go back in there.
Yes.
And I find out and I register.
Yes, and you can add. Yes, you can add as much or as little information as you want.
Wow.
And Percy, at minimum, you're going to need at least your phone number and a name.
Right. That's all.
Very minimal.
I put in that in your email address, and then I put in my own specific password.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
And it's very flexible, because you can put in as much or as little information as you want.
Yeah. What's to stop anybody in putting in your number again once you've done it set up, or did it before you?
You can't register off the phone number twice, the same phone number twice. Smart 911 doesn't allow it. We've tested the product. I've tried to register my number again on another profile, and it will block it.
And what about if somebody does it before you?
Yep. Once it's registered, then you won't be able to register that number.
So let's say I was just playing a prank on somebody that has a cell phone, and I register ahead of time for you.
If you could, but you would need my phone to get it validated, though, that number. So that pranking will be limited.
That's a smart 911. Okay, you're a smart cookie. I got you. No, these are the kind of questions that, when I told people you were coming on, I kept on calling Dr. Nagata, because we had Dr. Nagata on earlier. Captain Nagata.
Well, that's my cousin.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yeah, Dennis, the dentist, right?
Yeah. I had him on, and we were learning a lot about teeth. I was like, wow, that guy is a smart guy.
Well, thank you. It runs in the family, I think.
But anyway, Captain Nagata. So yeah, when I mentioned that you were coming on, and then I mentioned it, I always test this. I say, I see a lot of people around town. I say, what do you think of this thing? Oh, I don't know. With technology today, they might be able to get into their website or steal information or put in information, but you kind of got this thing going good.
Well, let me clarify this for you, Percy. I've been a police officer for almost 24 years now. And, I think I sound pretty excited about this product. And the reason why is that when we can help someone, we can make Honolulu a little bit more safer place to live and work and play. I'm excited because that's what my job is all about. And when I talk about Smart 911 and the challenges, the first thing that I let people know is that when you register, they do not ask for your social security number or any financial information. And basically, that's what hackers are looking for. Hackers want to assume your identity and they want to get your financial details. With Smart 911, none of that information is included in your safety profile. And let me make one thing clear. This information is stored in a secure national database. Our dispatchers do not have any access to that information. Your information, if you have a registered phone with Smart 911, or phone number, I should clarify, and you make that call to the public safety answering point that offers Smart 911, your safety profile that you created will pop up. And we only have that opportunity to look at that information when you make that call. So I can't go back and double check on you and say, well, what did you put in your profile? Because it's just completely stored and it's a national database.
Oh, that's great. So Talia, that must be kind of good for you guys. It protects you.
Yes, absolutely. And we're all excited about this new program.
I have another question for you. I just thought about, just off the top of my head. What is if somebody put in a certain prescription drugs or a certain illness and something has changed?
Well, Smart 911 requires that you update your profile at least once every 6 months so that the information that's stored in there is the most current should you need to make a call to 911.
So how do they send you a text or something saying 6 months are up, you need to edit your profile?
They will send you a text or email letting you know that your 6 months is nearing. Also, the Honolulu Police Department is going to be posting reminders on our website and using social media to remind people to check their Smart 911 profile to always keep the information current.
Wow, you guys thought of everything, huh? I can't stump you here. I'm trying to think of different things to stump you. I can't stump these guys. Now, that's a Smart 911. It is interesting. Anyway, we're here at Captain Nagata and Talia Burns from the command center or communications?
The communications division of the Honolulu Police Department. And for everybody out there, that's basically 911.
Oh, absolutely. And I got hats off to you guys. You guys do a great job. And you guys have always been very professional. Coming out, as you heard, Smart 911 is coming out later August or early September. It's a really cool app. Is it an app?
It's not really an app, Percy.
App,
it's a website, www.smart911.com. Please go there, and I encourage people to register.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back, and I got to find some questions to stump these guys, but it is a Smart 911. We're here with HPD, and we're talking about a Smart 911 program. We're going to be right back after this short break.
We will be right back with Percy Ihara from Generations Radio. If you have any questions or want to be part of our discussion, give us a call at 296-5467. That's 296-5467. This is Generations Radio on AM 690 The Answer.
Aloha, this is Martha Clopin.
And Al Harrington. Choosing the right Medicare plan not only saves you money, it also helps you avoid headaches and heartaches down the road.
We want to remind everyone
to listen to a Medicare Moment with Martha, Sundays from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we help answer important questions on Medicare so you can stay healthy, wealthy, and wise all year long.
Call me at 543-2073, 543-2073.
Simplify your life by opening a My Social Security account. What's My Social Security? It's a secure, online account that allows you immediate access to your personal Social Security information. During your working years, you can use My Social Security to view your Social Security statement, to check your earnings record and see estimates of the future retirement, disability, and survivor benefits you and your family may receive. If you receive benefits, you can get a benefit verification, check your benefit and payment information, change your address and phone number, and even change your direct deposit information. Open a My Social Security account today and simplify your life. Just visit www.socialsecurity.gov/myaccount. While you're online, check out all the other things you can do at www.socialsecurity.gov.
focusing on the issues facing our seniors and their families today. Here's our Generations Radio host, Percy Ihara.
Welcome back to Generations Radio. I am Percy Ihara, your host. As you know, we just had our Aging in Place workshop, and we'll be posting those presentations on our website for 2015. But anyway, we're here with HPD, and they're thinking a new program called Smart 911, and let me tell you, it is smart. I tried to stump them, I couldn't stump them yet, but Captain Nagata and Talia Burns from the Communications Center. So we talked earlier, and I did want to rehash it again so people understand, because when I mentioned you were coming on the show, we had so many questions about, is it safe? What if the website gets hacked? Can somebody change your profile? Now, you had mentioned that the website is a national website, smart911.com.
Yes. Sure, it's a national website. Basically, what it is when you create a safety profile, your information is stored in a secure national database. I know people questioning it. What's a secure national database, despite all the challenges we've had with hackers lately, right?
Right.
And basically, I questioned Smart 911 about it, and they said that they have several secure layers of classification which meets federal and military requirements. And basically, being a police officer, and I used to work in the financial crimes detail of the Honolulu Police Department, and we investigated financial fraud crimes. And what I noticed is criminals or hackers, what they're really looking for is your financial information,
right,
or your social security number.
Right.
And Smart 911 doesn't ask for that. And because they don't ask for that, it's really not attractive for hackers. And also, I told you earlier in the show that I registered. And one of the things that I had to decide before I registered with Smart 911 was putting a little information out on the internet, such as my name, my address, and maybe even my children's name, versus having that personal safety in case I need it when I do call 911. Because no one ever expects to call 911, Percy.
You never know.
Yeah.
Never know,
right? And I wanted to plan ahead for an emergency, because we all plan ahead for hurricanes, and it's hurricane season.
Right.
We go to Costco, we buy a lot of water and supplies. But I thought, you know what, this is a great thing, because now I can plan ahead to call 911, even when I don't expect it, that if I call, that information is there.
Well, what I like about it, and I really do, I'm glad you contacted me because it's going to help a lot of seniors. I think it's going to give a lot of peace of mind for, you're about my age, 50, be able to know that our parents are going to be a little bit more, little safer, right, Talia? A little bit more information there for your officers when they respond.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes.
Go ahead.
As well as for your limited English speaking people.
I never thought about that.
Yes. So in your profile, you can select a language if you're limited English speaking, and that information is displayed right away to our call center. That way we don't have to spend the time trying to figure out what language you speak. We can automatically get an interpreter on the line for that specific language.
Yeah, that's really important. But guys, it takes only a couple of minutes to sign up. A general account, and like I said, you don't have any social security, no financial information, no social security number, which is probably the number one thing they need to get. But it's very secure. Plus, you said you cannot register twice.
Yes.
And you cannot register. I asked you earlier about using somebody's number. Well, you got to have that phone in your hand, right? Because they do verify, which is a cool thing. They send a text immediately. You got to put in a certain code and to get confirmed. So that's a cool thing. And you said what other layer of security was there?
Several layers, Percy. Many several layers, according to Smart 911.
Yeah, but I like the English speaking, Talia, because that's important. So the police officer that goes out on a call, does it show up on their computer or right there on the call as well?
What we do in the comm center, we can push that information over onto their laptops in the field. We are positive that it will help our first responders because, for example, if you have a missing senior, they'll have the photograph. If that photograph is in the profile, they'll have it right away. And responding to the incident, they'll already know who they're looking for. Instead of getting to the scene and then looking for a photo, getting a description, they'll have that information firsthand.
Well, the other question that you answered for me is that what about if the information is old? And you said it has to be updated every 6 months.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, that's a cool thing. That was one of the major questions that one of my medical friends had asked me about because they were worried about this information. So I'm on the website now, and I put in my information. And what's cool about it is they confirm everything again, but also the emergency contacts. I'm on the website right now as we're talking, and so you can put in your emergency contacts as many as you want and the details. Whether it's a home number, mobile, or work number. And then additional details they can put in there, whether it's a family, neighbor, and and you said also they can put a place in there for their picture.
Yes, you can. Not the emergency contacts, but
Right.
members in your family. You can
Oh, I
put
see.
pictures, and like Talia said earlier, as a police officer, I've gone to dozens, hundreds of missing person cases where it involves our kupuna or elderly.
Yeah, so
and
sad.
9 times out of 10. We don't know who we're looking for, what the circumstances, but if someone should register for Smart 911 and they create that safety profile and put in that your grandparents or your uncle and auntie, and that information can be pushed out to the officers in the field, we'll know way beforehand who we need to look for. And we'll be able to start a search much earlier than we would have without that information.
And you can put whether you have an animal or not here.
That's correct. Our loving pets, Percy.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get another dog soon, but anyway. And you can put a picture of the dog?
Sure can.
Wow. I see that right here. I got tons of pictures I can put in there. My dog. Wow, this is great. So it's 911, it's a smart 911.
Yes, I have another thing that we can talk about because this is great for the hard of hearing deaf communities because Smart 911, when you go onto that website and you create a safety profile, it also allows you to list as medical conditions, for example, that you're deaf, hard of hearing. And in that case, if you list that down, you can also request to use what's called Smart Chat. And
That was my next question. What is Smart Chat?
Smart Chat basically is similar to texting to 911
Wow.
or texting with you and me. And basically, you're going to need a mobile phone that's enabled with sending
that's-
and receiving text
Yeah,
messages.
that's the only thing. I
Yes.
know more and more phones and seniors are using it, but yeah.
But that's definitely the only thing. You definitely will have to be able to text message. But this is also great, like I said earlier, Percy, for individuals who are hard of hearing and deaf.
Sure.
Because normally when someone who is deaf or hard of hearing, when they call 911, they have to use possibly a relay service or the TDD, right? The telecommunications device for the deaf. However, in this instance, if they register for a profile with Smart 911 and they list that they're hard of hearing or deaf, and they make that call to 911, our dispatchers or call takers will immediately know when their safety profile pops up that this person is deaf or hard of hearing. And that way we can go straight to dialoguing with them via text messaging or Smart Chat.
Wow,
And
that's really...
that really reduces the time trying to triage the situation, figure out what's going on,
Sure.
right? And we can get to the heart of the matter. And that reduces response times. And that's ultimately our goal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So is there a cost at all, or how is this funded?
There's no cost to the public. Absolutely no cost.
So it's all through federal grants or...
The police department has funding. We did get a grant, so to speak, to fund this project, but
Right.
it is no cost to the public.
Well, hopefully the neighbor islands get it soon as well because this show is statewide, our magazine is statewide, and neighbor islands they're so farther apart, so going on an efficient call is really, really important. So when I see the question is so on the neighbor islands not yet, but where else is Smart 911 available?
Smart 911 is available nationwide, continental United States, and Alaska, and shortly will be available in Hawaii. But again, when you do travel abroad throughout the United States, Percy, if you go down to their website at Smart 911, they'll have a zip code locator where you can put in that zip code or city name, and you can verify if that city you visit offers Smart 911. And as I told you earlier, that the state of Arkansas and Michigan, that 2 states are completely Smart 911. So you go to those 2 states, you make a 911 call, and you're registered with the product, your profile is going to pop up. I have a great story about Michigan incident regarding Smart 911. This gentleman, he's a younger father, and he was at home sleeping. Prior to that, he already had his what you call that, Smart 911 safety profile registered. And I said, Michigan, they offer Smart 911. He doesn't have a landline phone because most folks today, they have cell phones or mobile phones. And basically what happened was he was sleeping in his home. Nobody was home, just him. The wife and kids went out. And then I guess something happened with the electrical system and it started to smoke. It's an older house in the state of Michigan, out in the rural areas. And as the place started to smoke, he was asleep. He started choking. And when he started to get up, the house was engulfed with flames. He makes that one call that he can, because it's limited air when there's fire.
Sure.
He makes that one call to 911. As soon as the call taker answers, the safety profile pops up. Has his name, home address. Now he can't speak. But the dispatcher knows his name, and she calls him out by name. Hello, Dan. Hello, Dan. He's not responding, but he's coughing and choking. She goes, hello, Dan. I know something's wrong out there. Dan, your Smart 911 safety profile says your address is this, because he registered it. We're going to send help and check on you and see what's going on. Sure enough, first responders were sent, discovered the fire, rescued him. This rescue was profiled on Good Morning America at the end of last year.
Really?
And Good Morning America took a look at the product and they determined that it saved 11 minutes off the response times because of Smart 911. And this gentleman came on TV and verified that, said he's alive today because of Smart 911. And he recommends everybody registered, not only because he was saved and it saved his life, but it's free. It's free. It's no cost. There's nothing that you have to invest to sign up. Just the willingness to be prepared for an emergency in case you need to make that call to 911.
That's really important. I just thought about something that maybe people need to do both your landline, if you have a landline, and your mobile phone, right?
Yes,
because you could be calling
absolutely.
from either phone, right?
Absolutely.
So the other question I had, and I think I know the answer already. How is this information shared with like HPD, HFD, Hawaii Home Fire Department, and also with the EMS people?
So when your safety profile pops up in our comm center, we can take that information and then we pass it on to fire or EMS, because a lot of times we co-respond with HFD or EMS, so that whatever the information is in there in your profile, we will share with them.
Yeah, it's going to be very important for the Honolulu Fire Department, because I know, like I mentioned, my friends that are fire captains, a majority of their calls are for seniors. And so hopefully, are they going to be partnering at all, or are they going to be putting out these nice brochures as well? Hopefully.
Hopefully they'll get on board. And like I told you earlier, Percy, and to all your listeners, is that right now it's kind of like a pilot project. And, it's kind of like a wait and see. But, for us at the Honolulu Police Department, we're pushing this product because we know it's going to work.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
we're going to make sure that everybody gets this information. And with your help and your listeners, we want to spread the word out. And let's be akamai about safety. And one way you can be very smart and akamai about it is, like you said earlier, we're pretty smart with Smart 911.
Yeah, you guys, these guys did a great job at planning it out. And fortunately for you guys, you don't have to deal with all this information, right? It's not your website. You're not responsible for any information. You protect yourself legally, and you have to update it, which is really, really important on updating that information. Yeah.
Yes, that updating is so critical because, as a police officer, I realize that, here today, gone tomorrow is a concept that I see all the time when I go to people's homes or I respond to emergencies. What I mean by that is today somebody lives here and I service their calls for service, and then next month they move out. So with this requirement of updating your info and logging in at least once every 6 months is important, because for first responders, we need fresh, accurate information when we do respond to your call for an emergency.
Great. Well, I asked you about 5 questions. You answered all of them. But I just thought of another one. Just now, Captain Nagata, maybe Talia, what about a business?
Yes, you can register your business as well. So home, your work, and your cell phone.
Well, what's really important, I think you mentioned earlier, Captain Nagata, is that where it's located at, besides the address, maybe which store you are, between a certain store, around the corner. But yeah, that's great. So
it's really helpful because with the advent of cell phones, no one ever predicted that cell phones or mobile phones would be this big today. And when our 911 system was invented many years ago, it was centered, and it still is centered around a landline phone. So that's why earlier the radio show I told you, when you make that call with a landline phone, we to 911, we get your subscriber name. We don't necessarily know who's calling, but
Right.
we get a subscriber name. So we have some information, and we get a subscriber address, which is very big. And then we get that 10-digit phone number, right? But today, cell phones, despite its powerful capabilities and, go to the internet, pay bills by banking, go to Amazon.com, buy something and order presents for your spouse or your friends. But guess what? There's a limitation. There's a limitation with 911. If you're not registered with Smart 911, the call center, when you make that call for an emergency, may not know who you are, where you are, and any type of need or physical, medical disability that you have. We may not know, and it may just be another anonymous call.
Right. Well, like you say, with the guy in the fire, they can't talk. They might have had a stroke. What's good is about who to call in emergency.
Yes.
That's really important, isn't it?
Yes, the great feature of Smart 911 also is that, as you said, Percy, the caller doesn't have to be the sole source of information because you can't speak under those circumstances.
Right.
And this can be parlayed also to, they had another scenario, I think in Arkansas, where a female who was at home registered for Smart 911. She had her safety profile, her address with her 2 children. Her husband was away on a business trip. They're living again outside the city limits. And then during the night, if I'm correct from what I was told, she heard someone breaking into her house. She heard glass breaking. She heard intruders. And now she's like most other people where they only have a mobile phone. But she registered with Smart 911. Arkansas offers Smart 911 statewide. So she gathers her children, hide in the closet, and she makes that one call to 911. She couldn't talk because they were hiding in the closet. The intruders came in and they were saying, search, search, look under the bed. The call taker gets the call. The safety profile pops up. They can hear rumbling in the background. The call taker says, blurts out her name. I know you're on the line. Something's wrong. We're sending a unit, a police unit out there now. Because you have the Smart 911 registration, because there was a name and an address, she was saved and the burglars were arrested.
Yeah, because if you're calling from your cell phone, they wouldn't know your address.
Yes, Percy.
Landline, they might, right?
Yes, landline, they might.
But cell phone, no. Oh, that's
Definitely.
That's a good one. You gotta put that one. That's a good one because today, I got rid of my landline just early this year. After not using it for 5 years, I told my wife, finally, we got to get rid of this thing. So we only have it on mobile phones. So what is this? You said you have a question, text to 911. What is that?
Text to 911 is exactly like texting to each other. And text to 911, we're looking at launching that in the last quarter of this year. So text to 911 would be statewide versus Smart 911, which is only for the Honolulu Police Department.
For now.
Yes, for now.
Yeah.
But text to 911, we've installed the equipment. We've just completed training. And so the next step for us now is to do educational outreach and then deploy the program.
So what exactly is text to 911?
So when you, instead of calling 911, you're able to text to 911. And what we're preferring is that you make a voice call. Call if you
Oh,
can,
absolutely.
text if you can't. That's going to be our slogan. Because texting will take a little bit longer to process your 911 call. So if you're able to make a phone call, a voice call, we would prefer that. But text to 911 is another option. It's an option for the hearing impaired community because a lot of the hearing impaired community has mobile phones. And so it's an option for them to call 911 as well.
So same benefits then?
It's very different. With the text to 911, you don't have to register. All you need is a text-capable telephone that has some kind of service. If you have a cell phone that doesn't have a service, that it's only capable of calling 911, you won't be able to text.
I see. So what would people use it for when they just text if it's an emergency?
Sure. So if you're in a situation like the captain just explained about a burglar in the house, you could text to 911 and give us that information. If you're in a domestic violence situation where you can't speak and you're in a situation with a partner or significant other that you're not able to tell us, you can text the information to us.
Do you have to register for that, or it's just a service that's going to be provided?
It's just a service that's going
I
to be
see.
provided.
And any cost to that as well?
There's no cost, as far as I know, as long as you have a phone that's text capable.
So let's say I text you, and because I'm texting you from my mobile phone, you would have my phone number there. Would it automatically and I created a profile as well? Would that one show up as well? Let's say I can't talk, like you said, in a abuse situation or a robbery where you don't want to make any noise. Would your profile pop up, or would you guys have that kind of connection?
With the Smart 911, it requires a voice call. So the text to 911 call will not trigger the Smart 911 profile.
Okay. All right. So I got you on one. I would think, well, hopefully you guys will, hopefully you'll see a number. Maybe that could be an issue. I don't know how you're going to work that, but it's great. So, yeah, we're here with Captain Nagata from HPD and Talia Burns. But, yeah, I think, Captain and Talia, if I can get you out there, hopefully you're going to be at the senior fair at the Blaisdell the last weekend of September. Look out for that. And for you baby boomers, most of our listeners so far, what I've been experiencing are all baby boomers.
Sure.
Listening for information for their parents. And this is huge, because I know my two neighbors are like in their 90s now, or one passed away, but 90s. And I've gotten texts from the daughter saying, the fire department is there. Can you find out what's going on? Well, she was at work. And I was at home at the time, and I had to go find out what was going on. We had another family issue, in the house down the road, where some domestic violence was going on, and so they were at work as well. They couldn't really talk so much, so they texted me. But I think this is going to be a great resource for a lot of our baby boomers out there.
Yeah, sure, it is. And like you said earlier, it's a smart type of 911. And something else I wanted to bring up is that when you do create a safety profile, you also have an option to include, unfortunately, any domestic violence situation. You can put that information out.
That's really good.
You can let the first responders know, the police officers know what may or may have happened in your household. And, domestic violence, unfortunately, pervades through all our families, whether you're kupunas or elderly or children or just the parents that, it's really important that they can put that information and let us know beforehand.
Yeah, that's really important. So you guys are both available to go out and do speaking engagements all over town, right?
We're going to do our best.
I know. I want to get you guys busy.
Please.
Get our dollars working. So I know you have some beautiful posters here explaining the Smart 911. And actually, I like this one here that shows the website and then what you can do in terms of putting addresses, vehicles.
Yes, you can include your vehicles. And, your vehicles are really important because, you know what, Percy, as a police officer, I've responded to many calls during the night, especially in the countryside, whether it's Kahuku or even Waianae, where, as I said earlier, a lot of homes do not have numbers on it or house numbers. And what happens is, if we know what type of vehicle you have and your license plate beforehand, we'll be able to find your house much quicker.
Yeah, especially in the dark, yeah.
Yes.
Well, I like the fact you can put pictures on here.
Yes.
I see here you can put a picture of your house.
Yes,
sure can.
Absolutely. So there are some areas where they have one address and have multiple houses on a lot. So if you snapshot your house, we know exactly which one you're talking about.
Oh, I see. So, guys, I signed up on my smartphone, and it's very limited to information. But on your full website, if you go to on your desktop or laptop, the full website has all the different information points you can put. Pictures, people, pets,
address, pets,
wow,
medical conditions, and they list the full range of medical conditions. And you can also, like Talia talked about, disclose that you're not English speaking, and you can let us know what language you speak, so we can immediately go to a translator or interpreter if you call 911. Because if you don't have it listed and we don't know that you need a foreign interpreter, we're going to spend time talking to you, trying to find out what's your emergency, and we're going to spend time talking to you what type of language, and we may take a few minutes, which can be important in a first responder issue, in an emergency.
So when somebody has a question or have a problem getting signed up or want more information, who do they call?
First of all, they should go to the website, look at it. And when you look at the website, if you have trouble signing up, there is a section that says you can email Smart 911 for any technical issues regarding your signing up.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Captain Nagata and Talia Burns from the Communications Center there. Smart 911, and let me guys, it is a smart 911. So I appreciate your time. We're going to get you out there in the public, and we'll get you in our magazine as well for the October-November issue. So thank you so much. We're here every Saturday from 5 to 6, Sunday from 3 to 4. So take care, everybody, and remember, Smart 911. You got to go set that up for your parents and your loved ones. So every week we're here Saturday and Sunday. Aloha and live well.